legislating the Jewish laws on marriage. The Gospel of Mark records this: "For it was Herod who had sent and seized John and bound him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because he had married her. For John had been saying to Herod, 'It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife.' And Herodias had a grudge against him and wanted him put to death." Mark 6:17 through 20. John was in Herod Antipas's prison. But some say Herod was interested in John and his message and had no plans to harm him. Herod's wife Herodias, on the other hand, wanted him dead. And so she hatched an audacious scheme to use her own daughter, or Herod's own stepdaughter, in a most perverse, sick, and twisted manner. Here's how the Gospel of Mark records the rest of the story. "But an opportunity came when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his nobles and military commanders and the leading men of Galilee. For when Herodias' daughter came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his guests. And the king said to the girl, 'Ask me for whatever you wish, and I will give it to you.' And he vowed to her, 'Whatever you ask me, I will give you, up to half my kingdom.' And she went out and said to her mother, 'For what should I ask?' And she said, 'The head of John the Baptist.' And she came in immediately with haste to the king and asked, saying, 'I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter.' And the king was exceedingly sorry, but because of his oaths and his guests, he did not want to break his word to her. And immediately the king sent an executioner with orders to bring John's head. He went and beheaded him in the prison and brought his head on a platter and gave it to the girl. And the girl gave it to her mother." Mark 6:21 through 29. During the baptism of Jesus, you'll remember that there was a miraculous event. A dove descended from heaven, and the voice of God identified Jesus as his son. Pretty amazing stuff. So what happened after that? Did the crowds hoist Jesus onto their shoulders like he had just scored the winning basket at the final buzzer? Not hardly. Instead of big fanfare, Jesus, oddly enough, traveled out here, into the rugged Judean wilderness, for 40 days of seclusion. After 40 days in the wilderness without food, the Gospels record a fascinating one-on-one encounter between Jesus and the fallen angel Satan. Here is the Gospel of Matthew's description of what happened. "Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil, and after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread.' But he answered him, 'It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God.' Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone.' Jesus said to him, 'Again it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test.' Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, 'All these I will give you if you will fall down and worship me.' Then Jesus said to him, 'Be gone, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve.' Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and were ministering to him." These temptations basically followed three patterns. The first temptation concerned the lust of the flesh. Jesus was hungry, and Satan tempted him to convert stones into bread. The second temptation concerned the pride of life. Satan challenged Jesus to throw himself off of the high place of the temple, knowing that God would send angels to catch him. The third temptation concerned the lust of the eyes. Satan showed Jesus all of the kingdoms of the earth and their splendor, saying, I will give all of this to you if you will simply bow down and worship me. Now, if you noticed, Jesus used the same 3 words in response to each temptation. It is written. Jesus responded by quoting the Hebrew scriptures, which he had been studying since he was a boy. Now, after his time of testing out here in the Judean wilderness, he returned to the region of Galilee, and news about him spread throughout the whole countryside. He returned to his hometown of Nazareth and began teaching. Luke records that Jesus went out in the power of the Spirit to Galilee, and a report about him went out throughout the whole country, and he was teaching in their synagogues, being glorified by all.